Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the Inside View Live with Teddy Panos. I am your host, Teddy Panos, coming to you here from the Inside Lowell studios in beautiful, historic downtown Lowell. We are in the executive building, and we're glad to be here this morning, and very glad to be here this morning with our special guest, her first appearance on Inside Lowell. There's the music, tells me I did this right. We're going to introduce you to royalty, Queen of Lowell in just a quick moment. But we do want to remind you that we come to you live every Wednesday morning at 10 a.m. Just one of our many podcasts, now close to 40 of them, that you can find on InsideLowell.com. You can also find them on our YouTube channel, Inside Lowell. And soon, I promise, you're going to be able to get them on all of your major podcast providers in audio form as well, whether it's Spotify, Apple, Google, any podcast service you use, you'll be able to get all of our Inside Lowell podcasts. So you've got a lot of catching up to do. I want to start by thanking our sponsors who help make InsideLowell.com possible, and the Inside View with Teddy Panos. And of course, that includes our friends at the Washington Savings Bank. I'm drinking my water this morning. I already had my coffee at the Owl Diner, so water tastes better in a Washington Savings Bank mug. It also tastes better when you have an extra $300 that they will give you. Just open an account, a qualified account at Washington Savings Bank, where you get $1,000 directly deposited within a month into that account. So your paycheck, maybe a social security check. If you get direct deposits, open an account at Washington Savings Bank before March 31st. You put $1,000, you get $1,000 directly deposited into that account, they're going to give you $300. Go to WashingtonSavings.com to learn more. It's a hell of an offer. It's a hell of a bank. We use them here at Inside Lowell. Thank you as well to our friends at Hafner's. You can see their kicking mule sign and their logo right here behind me. Hafner's, it kicks. Their service definitely kicks as well. Don't take any chances with your family or your home this winter. Hafner's takes the worry off of your mind with their comprehensive services, whether you use propane or heating oil in your home. Hafner's offers quick, reliable, friendly service, and they also offer great options like auto pay and auto delivery to make your life easier. Call 866-IT-KICKS. That's 866-IT-KICKS. Or visit Hafners.com to learn more. Thank you as well to our friends at Reverie 73. A lot of times, folks are confused about the cannabis industry. It's new, and a lot of confusion about the services, the products. You don't have time telling one from the other. That's not the case at Reverie 73. The store itself stands out. The moment you walk in, you notice it's beautiful, it's bright. The knowledgeable staff is always willing to spend that extra time with you to answer any questions you have. So whether you're new to the world of cannabis or a canna connoisseur, check out Reverie 73. They're sure to elevate your cannabis experience. Visit them at 1148 Bridge Street in Lowell or online at reverie73.com. Thank you as well to our friends at Boston North Company, credit card services, ATMs, digital signage, small business retail solutions from a company that's located right here in the Merrimack Valley. Local ownership, local people, worldwide service. BostonNorthCompany.com to learn more. And I want to welcome our newest sponsor to the Inside Lowell family, our friends at McKenna Willette D'Amato Funeral Home. They've actually posted a couple of obituaries as well. That's one of the services that they provide. They'll post your life celebration, your story here on Inside Lowell. And that's also a service that we provide now at InsideLowell.com. McKenna Willette D'Amato Funeral Home, tremendous, caring service at one of the most difficult times in a family's life. You want to make them one of your first calls, and we thank them for joining our Inside Lowell family. And we also thank, there she is, finally I get to a camera that has something besides my ugly mug or some advertising. Lowell City Councilor Rita Mercier. Welcome, Councilor.
Good morning, Teddy. And good morning, everyone. And this is my maiden voyage here this morning. I'm very impressed with what I see. It's beautiful when you look around and see everything. And I'm going to be honest with you. I miss you so much. I really
Thank
do.
you.
And I'm going to admit something that I probably shouldn't, but I'm not very good with podcasts. I don't understand all this, but I got a very good education this morning. So I think I know a lot more about it. And so maybe I'm going to be a part of this.
Yes, I saw my office mate over there, Danielle
Yes.
McFadden from the Greater Lowell Chamber of Commerce, kind of showed
yes,
you around.
she did.
And
She makes a good teacher.
she certainly does. She makes a good roommate as well.
Yeah, she's wonderful. So I'm very impressed. And this is a great setup. I'm impressed by you. This is wonderful.
Well, I kept telling people for so many years I had a face made for radio. Now I'm proving it, right?
Yeah, but now we're on with the screen here with the camera. So I didn't know that we were going to be like showing our picture.
Yeah, now I
hope I comb my hair, did I? For God's sakes.
I shower, I shave now, which I never
Yes.
did in the radio.
Oh, my goodness. This is so wonderful. Thank you for inviting me, Teddy. This is wonderful.
Thank you. It's great to have you here. Let's start. First of all, I want to talk a little bit about you. And you announced we kind of polled the city councilors about a month or so
That's
ago to
right.
get their plans on who's seeking re-election. It's 2023. It's an election year here in the city of Lowell. And all except one, your colleague, Councilor John Drinkwater, have committed to running again. That means you are going to seek re-election as an at-large councilor?
Yes, I will do that again. And if I'm lucky enough, thank you, dear Jesus, please help me. I hope to make it again. That would be 30 years. Isn't that amazing? Of course, I could never catch up to Richard Howe, who did 40 years. I could never do that. But gee, can you see if I made it to 30 years? That would be really remarkable.
So if you win re-election in this November and get sworn in 2024, by the time that term's done, that's 30 years in office.
Yes, because I'm 28 right now.
Will that be the second longest tenure?
Don't get confused. I didn't mean 28 years old. I meant I'm there 28 years. Wouldn't it be nice if we were 28 years old?
If only we could turn the clock back. You have the energy of a 28-year-old.
Well,
do you still love this? It strikes me that very few people, and they all have had well-intentioned serving, they're energetic, but very few people have enjoyed being a city councilor as much as you have. Dare I say, you've enjoyed it more than anybody that I've come across in my time dealing with the council.
If you don't enjoy it, you shouldn't be there anymore. I haven't reached that point yet. Thank you that I didn't. I enjoy it. It's called helping people. Community service, trying to do what people need to be done. I know that people are probably saying, gee, Rita Mercier is quiet this time. She didn't make 42 motions like some of my colleagues. You're absolutely right. I did not. But that doesn't mean I didn't work in the background, because it's very easy to pick up a phone and start doing things by way of phone. Just not too long ago, I had a business owner in the city. I could pinpoint it, but he said he was having problems with the traffic and how a vehicle, not once, but twice, went into the building and almost killed one of his workers. He would want to set up a meeting. Could you help me? I heard that you could do that. I set up a meeting with the city manager and the assistant city manager, the traffic engineer. All the people were sitting at the table in the manager's office seeing what we could do to help this businessman. He's spending $4 million on this project, and I'm going to not help this man? Did I make a motion and say, oh, I'm going to do this? Could you do that? No, it was urgent. We needed to do it right away. I do a lot of what I do behind the scenes. Mm-hmm. I don't really talk about it, but I'm going to talk about it now, because somebody has to know that, yeah, you won't see the 42 motions, but you don't know the phone calls I make and the meetings that I arrange and get people together for the betterment of the city. So
you still enjoy it, obviously,
yes,
because you're going to try to do it for another 2 years.
Yeah.
I have heard some rumblings, though, that after that, you're giving some thought to calling it a career. If you're successful, that your next term would be your last term. Is that a accurate speculation I'm hearing out there?
Well, you could say that's kind of true. I'm not saying it will happen, but that's so far where I'm going right now. And I heard the rumor that said, oh, she's not running anymore, because they think that I'm in a hurry to get my name up at the senior center, and that's not true. That I'm the one that made the amendment to that motion because I wouldn't have supported it otherwise. I don't believe to be involved with the conflict of interest, and where the senior center is a early voting place, I don't want any appearance of a conflict of interest by having my name there. So I made the amendment to their very wonderful motion, and I'm very grateful to my colleagues for supporting that. But that doesn't mean I wouldn't run. So don't put the name there until I...
But you kind of intimated there that the way you're thinking right now, as we sit here today on January 25th, that if 2 more years and you might call it a career, a political career after that?
It's a thought, but it's not set in stone
Not set in stone. Okay, so you reserve the right to
change my mind.
To try to get to 32.
Because I'm a woman, and don't we have the right to change our mind?
Yes, you do.
Because you don't know what's going to happen next week.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying? I just hope I can make it to 30. That'd be great. So
yeah, you're always the most nervous person on
I'm
election
very nervous because I never underestimate what could possibly happen. Yeah.
So you did mention that one of the things is the senior center is going to be named after you, but not until you step down from the council because of it's used as an election place and fully understood. But I'm just kind of just your thoughts on that. You know, it struck me as a great motion by Councilor Robinson and your colleagues who kind of...
I'm so honored by it.
So often we wait until somebody's gone to name something after them.
No doubt.
And they don't even get to enjoy it. Their families do, those they leave behind do. But what was it like for you to see that motion get put on the agenda and then to actually have it pass on that Tuesday night?
Well, it made me cry when I read it on the city council agenda when the police brought it to my house, the agenda, and I opened the packet. I really didn't look at it right away. And then Councilor Robinson called me and he said to me, "How did you like my motion?" I said, "I really didn't look at the packet yet, Corey. Can you just tell me which one that you're talking about?" He said, "I don't know, 10.3. So I opened it up and I looked at it and I started to cry. I'm honored, so honored for that. I don't even know what to say. Am I deserving of it? I don't even know.
I'd say yes, and I'd probably say that's the right building because I think nobody has done more for seniors in the city than you have in your tenure. You did give me a little bit of news there that I didn't realize, though. A police officer brings the agenda to you and I assume all of your colleagues?
Every city councilor,
That's how, really?
Yep.
We use police for that?
On their route. Oh, on their route. Okay. I get car 3 delivers to the Belvedere.
Okay.
And then the other police routes deliver it to them. Oh, that's been like that.
I did not. I thought
you never knew that.
I thought you got something in a mailbox. No, I did not realize that. But it makes sense because the agenda doesn't come out till Friday morning.
How do you think I know half the police department? for all the years I've known them,
That's an interesting fun. I didn't know
did not know
I'm willing to bet a lot of folks who are watching this either live or recorded did not know it either.
I wonder what the neighbors thought years ago. Oh my God! Look at the police.
Friday, right?
She's in a lot of trouble every single week. Oh my goodness! I never thought of that.
Let's talk a little bit about last night's meeting. Wasn't an exciting agenda, but there was one moment where things got a little bit heated, and as is sometimes the case, you were in the midst of it when the city council got. I'll use the word, but I'll let you use your own words. Got lectured yet again in how cold, how callous, and how uncaring you are about the city's homeless population. Did I basically capture the spirit of the speaker last night?
Yes, you did. And I piped in and said, I take exception with saying that displacing the homeless from their camps is inhumane. And I said, what's inhumane is the fact that we're letting them live there in squalor and vomit and feces and needles all around them and rodents. And I take exception with the fact that rodents from their place of living is trickling off into neighborhoods. That's kind of inhumane, don't you think? Mm-hmm. So what we do is we set a team of people there and give them a week's notice and say, we don't come in like thieves in the night and, rip out their belongings and throw them away. We give them adequate warning and we say, please, you have to leave this because, I have over 100 pictures that I can get access to that show you how they live, and you wouldn't. It's tough enough to live outside, but to live in the filth that they live in, they're not clean, and I just could go on and on forever about it. But the city has a team that says, when we come back in a week and you're not out of here, we'll try to help you. We'll get you into a hotel. We'll try to find you a place to stay. I'm going to be perfectly honest. People won't want to hear it, but here's the deal. Not everybody goes into a hotel. Those that don't, it's because they don't want to follow the rules. They know you can't smoke in the place. They know you can't do drugs or drink in the hotel. They don't want to follow the rules. And it's sad because when you bring up a child into the world, a baby, you structure them. You teach them right from wrong. You give them guidelines and rules. But we're not giving the homeless any rules to follow. I'll give you an example. There's this woman, I don't know where she comes from, but she brings in her car tons of heated food that she gives in styrofoam containers to the people that are sitting outside that are homeless. They throw the containers right in the street, wherever they feel like it. That's unsightly. We have barrels close by, but they won't walk across the street to put it in the barrel. That bothers me. Now, a lot of the people are mentally ill. I understand that. I envision, and I don't know what the answer is, and I'm not saying I have it, but I want to see the day that we have a structure and we get people inside, and if they're mentally ill, we give them their medication. Someone monitors them. Someone looks after them, and they get paid for this to do that. We need that. Solomon's is closed. We pleaded with the Department of Mental Health, please don't close Solomon Mental Health, and they didn't listen. Bud Caulfield, Richard Howe, and myself, we went to Boston. They closed it. We need to reopen this again. The government's spending tons of money on this, that, and the other. Spend it on the right thing. Get a facility, hire people, put them in there, and get the people off the street that are mentally ill, that are being taken advantage of, that are being hurt, that are being misled and misguided. This is inhumane. That's what's inhumane, not the city council that's trying to do everything we can.
I agree with you that I think that would help reopening Solomon's or having some facility somewhere. But I still think you're going to have a homeless issue to some degree because, as you said, even in Solomon's, you couldn't do drugs. You're not supposed to drink.
Right.
There's certain rules, and some people just for whatever reason, mental illness, addiction cycle that they can't get out of, don't want to live by those rules, and they'll exercise their freedom to get out of that facility. But one thing struck me about this, and I always say if you follow the money, in this particular case, $76 million worth, I think I know why this homeless issue has suddenly blown up and it's dominating every single meeting for going on a month now. But this cleanup that got everybody riled up now, this inhumane cleanup of the Plain Street tent city, it's not the first time the city has cleaned up a tent city, an active site. They've done it multiple times.
Right.
Just never been an issue before. I would venture to say the people that were in those tents, in that encampment that morning on Plain Street, have probably been displaced multiple times from multiple locations, whether it's along the river, whether it was on Thorndike Street off the connector a couple of years ago. They know the drill. You live there as long as you can. When the city shows up, they clean it up, you move out, you're gone. This one turned into an absolute, public circus.
Yes, it did.
I almost get the feeling that it was manufactured by certain advocates who wanted their share of that ARPA money.
Yeah.
Dare I say, using these homeless folks, many who do suffer from mental illness, almost as props. Now, I'm a conspiratorial type.
No, but
You sit there on the council floor and deal with this every week.
Yeah, I like to hear different ideas or thoughts on what happened. Yeah.
Why didn't these people leave? They were given notice.
Yeah, they were given notice.
And they always
contrary to
leave
what
before,
you
right?
hear. Yes.
Yeah, it's never been
That's
a problem
right.
before.
I never looked at it that way. Sure.
If you look at their past, I guarantee you most, if not all of them, have been displaced before.
See, that's what I like about you, Teddy. You got a different perspective because you're a deep thinker. Good for you.
I'm not not afraid to piss people off.
No,
I can say piss
I'm
off
not
on
either.
this, by the way.
Yeah.
And by the way, speaking of pissing people off, you go to InsideLowell.com. I posted an article last night called Time to Turn a Profit. And it was a look at the city council speakers who addressed the Lowell City Council in 2022, not 2023, 2022. And I actually delved into the data, and we talked about this before we came on. There were 117 registered speakers in all in 2022 for some issue or another. 64 of them, 64 of the 117, that's 55%, more than half, were affiliated with some nonprofit or another.
Yeah, no doubt.
Does it get in the way of doing the rest of the business of the city? Because you guys have to deal with traffic, trash, taxes, all sorts of other important things. Do you find that it's starting to get a little bit distracting, repetitive?
No, but I'm not surprised by you giving us those statistics. But the fact is that I personally feel that the number one issue in the city is the homelessness. That's my opinion. And when you equate homelessness, how are we going to solve that? You turn to the nonprofits that are doing their part and doing a very good job to try to. I don't want to duplicate it, though. That's why we need to have them all come together and say, well, we're doing this and you can do that, and so that we don't duplicate the services, so that the same people are going to different places getting the same thing, and not everybody's getting equal. Equality, that's my fairness. We had another issue about fairness on the city council, about first responders and essential workers. They got a stipend for coming in during COVID. Everybody should have been treated the same. If you sat in the comfort of your home and you during COVID, then you were exempt from that because you got paid. But if you came out of the safety of and comfort of your home and you were exposed to it, whether people came in or not came in, but if you had to be in wastewater and you did the sludge and all this and that, you're not an essential worker, but the city doesn't stop during COVID. It's a 24-hour working facility, so they should have been treated fairly. It's about fairness.
So thank you for segueing to our next discussion.
Oh, all right.
I have not read Ryan Gilday's City Council recap, but it also is posted online, InsideLowell.com. You can read all our stories, watch all our podcasts. But Ryan, I'm going to guess he discussed this as well last night, because it's something that I'm hearing talked about this morning. I heard it on the radio on my drive to bring the kids to school, that there's some folks upset about who was given some of this quote unquote bonus pay for working through COVID. Was a definitive decision made last night? Was something reached by the council or the manager?
That's it. No, nothing was reached. And then the maker of the motion, John Drinkwater, made an amendment to the city councilor's motion to try to find out what's the protocol, like did you get to that? Not that Tom Golden did. It wasn't during his administration, but who are we going to pay? What was the reasoning for it? Some blame the unions, so I don't really know.
So those decisions were already made about giving it to fire, police, and others?
But I didn't know. We didn't know that. I guess the previous administration knew that, but I didn't know who. I thought maybe if people get a stipend, everybody that came in and it was COVID and they still came in, they would have got it. For example, one of the people that, I believe it was a firefighter, came in during COVID and then he retired, but because he retired, he didn't get it. That's not fair. Is that fair?
So that's the issue that I heard in my brief, a couple of minutes of listening to it, is that some retirees did not get it,
and
even though they worked during
and they should have, don't you think?
Okay. Was that decision? It's not clear yet who made that decision.
Well, it wasn't the council,
or the union.
So we're going to revisit it and see if we can. If a certain people got 2,500, then why didn't they all get 1,000 or something? Do you hear what I'm saying? Instead of all these people got this much. If you wanted to be fair, lessen the money, but give it to all that came in. That's my opinion. I mean, we had mechanics come in. They were exposed to it. They came in, worked on cars. They didn't stay home and be safe at home. They came out and worked.
Are you happy with the way the manager and his administration have allocated the money that they have?
Yes,
control
and
over?
they're keeping us informed about it. Every city councilor met with Yvonne and her staff to talk about a certain segment, and it's broken down into different groups. Like we know that there's a certain amount for the downtown businesses for facade or awnings or whatever. Okay, so there's different. It's not like everybody gets a certain share. They broke it down into categories, and one of the categories is neighborhood parks. And I was especially happy to hear about that because I'm the chairperson of Parks and Recreations for many, many years. So to hear Yvonne and the staff talk about there's no section of the city that's left out in this. Every single park is going to have improvement. It's going to be in a plan to take years, but it's gonna, it's outlined, and so we all get briefed. It hasn't been presented yet, but that'll be the day when Yvonne comes up with the staff and they show it at a council meeting to all the plans with the parks.
Are you happy with the pace at which the money is being spent or allocated? There's some discussion that they're not getting it out there.
No, because now you had Brandon. I can't think of Flynn. Oh, good for you.
I sometimes pay attention.
You're good. Yes. Well, now he can't do it alone, so we've been having ordinances created for two people to help him. So we're in the process of hiring someone to help and oversee that. I mean, it's not like we can snap our fingers and say, okay, here, I want that to happen, don't you? But it just doesn't happen that way.
But you're confident that the money will be spent, because you have to spend it, I believe, by 2026. It all has to get spent.
Right. It has to be in place to know. We can't just say we're gonna do this. That we have to get it approved by where this money is coming from. You know what I'm saying? They have to know that our intentions are good. So it's not easy as people think. Oh, why can't it? Bureaucratic red tape, yes, but there's rules and regulations and laws that we have to follow.
It's 10:28 a.m. if you're watching us live here on this Wednesday morning, January 25th. If you're watching this at your own time, your own schedule, not our schedule, I don't know what time it is, but we're sitting here chatting with Lowell City Councilor Rita Mercier, who's kind enough to join us here in the Inside Lowell studios. Going to rejoin our conversation in a quick moment here, but I want to thank our sponsors for helping make this InsideView podcast possible, and also for making InsideLowell.com possible. That includes our friends at Reverie 73, whether you're a cannabis expert, a connoisseur, as they call them, or if you're new to the world of cannabis, Reverie 73 will listen, explain, inspire, and delight. They've got a location at 1148 Bridge Street in Lowell. It's a beautiful store. It's bright. The location stands out. The inside of the store stands out. You'll want to check it out. They're also opening 2 new locations, one in Beverly and one in Gloucester, planned for 2023. Reverie 73, their goal is to provide customers with an elevated experience and a vast selection of high-quality products. Also want to thank our friends at Hafner's It Kicks. They kick. You can see their kicking sign behind me and the Reverie 73 sign behind me. In addition to auto pay and auto delivery, Hafner's offers seasonal budget and pre-buy plans, offer propane and oil at competitive prices, and next day delivery plus 24/7 service for their oil customers. And for those of you whose cars are filthy like mine, sign up with the Hafner's Car Wash plan. They receive unlimited car washes each month to a plan that fits their vehicle's needs and their budget. That's where I'm going later today. I'm going to wash my car at a Hafner's. Call 866-IT-KICKS or visit hafners.com to learn more. Thank you as well to our friends at Washington Savings Bank. Go to washingtonsavings.com. Find out how you can get $300 from them simply by doing regular banking you were going to do anyway. $300 they're going to give you if you do $1,000 worth of direct deposit. WashingtonSavings.com to learn more. Thank you as well to Boston North Company, retail solutions for small businesses and big, and they're locally owned and locally run. And also want to welcome our newest sponsor, McKenna Willette D'Amato Funeral Home in Lowell. We welcome them to our family, and they've already posted the first 2 obituaries. Inside Lowell now will indeed offer an obituary section as well for those who want their loved ones remembered and want to help get the word out. So thank you to all of them. Thank you to all of our sponsors for making our podcast and Inside Lowell possible. Thank you as well to Councilor Rita Mercier. Hiring in the city has been a big issue. City's still having a hard time filling positions. Other than basically, open up the checkbook and pay a ridiculous amount of money, and I'm not sure that's going to work.
I know.
What can the city do to hire employees and also to retain some of these who are leaving and going to places like my town, Chelmsford, or other communities?
Yes, and I'm tired of losing good people to the outskirts of Haverhill and Drayton and Chelmsford, yeah.
Listen, as a Chelmsford taxpayer, I'm tired of paying ridiculous money. Bravo to the people who got it, but you're in Chelmsford, you're serving a town of 35,000 people. In Lowell, you're serving 115,000 people. You shouldn't be paying more money in Chelmsford or Tewksbury for employees than you are in Lowell.
I know, and that's what's happening. Yeah, that's happening. I mean, you do the same thing, and then we train our staff, and then they get all that training, and then they go somewhere else in the outskirts and get more money. Yeah, that's a vicious cycle that I don't know what the answer is, but we should pay them adequately, find out what's comparable in other places so at least they can stay here. But
is that where you have to go? Because that's something the taxpayers better get used to it, but to hire and retain staff now, because you're competing against every industry now. It's not just other towns. You've got to pay a lot more than you're paying now. That's not a guarantee you'll retain all of them, but should the people of Lowell be prepared to do that?
Teddy, what is the situation where people don't want to work anymore? What's happening? We have so many jobs that you could never get years ago. Now they're available and people don't want them. It's like we're begging, come on in. Yeah, we're going to. I don't know the answer. I really don't. And you're asking me questions I can't answer.
If I were a lot younger, could put in my 30 years to work towards that pension and the forever health insurance, I'd be in a different place, trust me. I wouldn't be launching new businesses.
Oh, boy.
But,
not easy, I know.
But there has to be ways to kind of get people back to work and make public service,
well,
which
when
it
you,
is.
When you find that answer, you give me a call. I want to know that answer so that I can take credit for it. I don't know what to tell you. I don't know the answers to that. But we should pay people adequately. It's tough. It's really tough.
I'll do my best. If I find the answer, I promise I'll give it to you first. Last area of discussion. I heard this over the last couple of days, the reservoir.
Oh,
up
the
on
reservoir,
Hill, Batch's stomping grounds. There's talk about filling it in and turning it into some kind of open space. I'm intrigued by that idea. Do we use that reservoir?
Don't.
It has no use anymore,
I'm
right?
intrigued to know it's 25 feet deep. Did you know it was that deep?
No.
I didn't know that, but it's 25 feet deep. They want to fill it in because it's outlived its usefulness. It's not being used. You can't swim in it. You can't boat in it. So they want to, that's like beautiful land, but it's unusable. So by filling it in, they could put different things there, a running track, a walking track. We had an outline of all the beautiful ideas that the DPD had. Beautiful, and then a playground and fitness equipment for people. It was just wonderful. And then we had a city councilor, and you can tell what type of business he's in because he wanted to fill it in and put 5-story high-rise with underground parking. I don't think Centerville people would like that because they want it to be a passive park, something open space to enjoy.
That's a potentially.
That's what I think.
That's a potentially interesting use as well. It would bring some tax dollars in. It would maybe help some of the housing things, so I think that would be more higher-end housing. But I'd take either one of those two proposals over the local Marxists over there at Solidarity Lowell who are demanding that we start using our open spaces as they call them campsites. The real word is tent cities. Yeah, that's you.
Yeah,
you may
I
wanna
hear
get-
you, but
You may want to get a handle on some of these people.
yeah. But open space, I know they'd love that, but wouldn't it be nice where people, there's not enough activity and exercise for kids in the winter, but to raise it a bit, fill it in, but put a deep spot to put water there and freeze it and make it an outside skating rink in the winter. But then in the summer, what would you do? So a basketball court, a bocce, a pickleball court. I don't know.
We'll find something. City Councilor Rita Mercier, the Queen of Lowell.
You.
Thank you so much for taking the time
Thank
to
you
join
for
us live.
inviting me. Thank
on
you
this,
so much.
Wednesday morning, and we hope you can come back. And we can, the good part is we can even tape these.
Oh, good.
In the future. But I wanted to get you in
Hope
here
I didn't
live for
offend
one.
anybody, but I do speak the truth. Sometimes people don't like that because sometimes the truth hurts, but I
truth
say
hurts.
what I feel.
Yeah, the truth is hate speech to people who hate the truth.
Well, I don't hate people, but
Just want to recap one more time.
sure.
You are thinking about making your next city council term your last one if you're lucky enough to get elected.
I'm thinking, but it's not set in
It's
stone.
not set in stone. So those hoping, we finally got rid of her. She's gone in 2 years.
Yeah.
Don't
Don't count that
don't
out,
plan the
'cause-
parade yet.
No, because I didn't make it official.
Okay.
But I will make it official that I'm running for re-election. Thank you so much. Please give me a vote. It's election year. I need your vote.
Love it. City Councilor
Thank
Rita
you.
Mercier, thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
And thank all of you for joining us here on the Inside View podcast, the live podcast. Check us out, InsideLowell.com. If you missed any or all of this discussion, it's up there from the moment I hit stop recording. It'll be up there live on our website, along with all of our close to 40 podcasts. Now, ton of content on there as well. City Council recap last night by the Lowell Citizen and insider Ryan Gilday. I've got my story up there about the number of registered speakers in the 2022 year who appeared before the City Council to advocate on behalf of some nonprofit. Numbers might surprise you, or maybe not. Didn't surprise Councilor Mercier. Most of all, thank us. Well, not most of all. Thank you for joining us, most of all, but thank you as well to our sponsors. We'll be back again next Wednesday with another live show. Till then, everybody stay safe out there.